3 weeks ago, I received a message from a married woman that said this: "I've been married for 8 years. I have 2 children, and I just did something I never thought I would ever do. And the worst part is, I don't feel any regret about it." You know what was most disturbing about that message? It wasn't the only one. In my inbox, there are exactly 47 messages telling almost identical stories. And today, I'm going to reveal the psychological secret that the marriage industry would rather you never discover. Because if this became widely understood, 60% of marriages could suddenly find themselves on unstable ground, starting tomorrow. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal the 3 exact signs that show a married woman may be about to cross that boundary. And trust me, the third one is going to completely shock you. But before that, I want to ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. Have you ever wondered why, in certain situations, many married women seem to flirt more than single women? No, it isn't simply something you're imagining. There is a documented phenomenon that some psychologists refer to as the paradox of compromised security. Let me explain through a true story. I met Valentina during a photography course. She wore her wedding ring and mentioned her husband almost every 10 minutes. At first glance, she appeared to be the perfect wife. But there was something that didn't quite make sense. Every time I told a funny story, she laughed louder than everyone else. Whenever there was a break, somehow we ended up talking. And during almost every conversation, she found a way to mention how busy her husband was. By the 3rd class, I understood something important. She wasn't talking about her marriage because she was proud of it. She was actually explaining why she needed attention from somewhere else. Here's the secret almost nobody tells you. A single woman protects her heart because she knows she is emotionally available. A married woman, on the other hand, may feel that her heart is already committed, so she lowers her emotional defenses. And it's precisely inside that false feeling of security that something unexpected can happen. She tells herself, "I'm only being friendly. Besides, I'm married. Nothing can happen." But that exact belief can eventually make her vulnerable. Because when emotional defenses come down, emotions can find a way inside without being invited. And now we reach the really important part. After analyzing hundreds of cases, I discovered 3 psychological reasons why a married woman can sometimes fall more easily than a single woman. And the first one may completely change the way you understand relationships. Reason number 1, invisible emotional hunger. Pay close attention, because this is where everything begins. When a woman is single and starts dating someone, that person already feels special simply because they're there. There is excitement, novelty, curiosity, and uncertainty. But after years of marriage, something gradually begins to shift. Let me tell you what Carolina, 34, who has been married for 9 years, once confessed to me. "My husband is a good man. He works, comes home, eats dinner, looks at his phone, and goes to sleep. He doesn't actually do anything wrong, but he also doesn't do anything to keep the relationship alive. It's been 4 years since he sincerely asked me how I feel. It's been 3 years since he stopped looking at me as though I were still an interesting woman, and 2 years ago I stopped waiting for him." This is where an uncomfortable truth begins to appear. Many married men make exactly the same mistake. They assume that because they have already won their partner, they no longer have to keep pursuing or attracting her. They believe the wedding ring guarantees her attention permanently, and that is exactly where they can begin losing everything. While they comfortably settle into the routine, she may slowly begin to suffer from emotional starvation. I'm not talking about sexual hunger. That usually comes later. I'm talking about the need to feel noticed, listened to, appreciated, and desired as a woman, rather than simply being seen as a wife or mother. Then someone else appears. He doesn't have to be exceptionally attractive. He doesn't need to be wealthy. He only needs to do one very simple thing. Give her his complete attention. Ask what she thinks. Remember something she mentioned the previous week. Look directly into her eyes while she's talking, and suddenly, boom! The woman who appeared completely protected behind her wedding ring feels alive again for the first time in many years. And that leads us to the second reason. This one is even more powerful. The fantasy of the man who truly understands her. Every married woman may carry an idealized image of the man her husband used to be. In the beginning of the relationship, he was attentive, curious, affectionate.